you've done something that is pretty extraordinary. You've made a movie, and you made a movie that's about you and your father.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called About My Father. And as I mentioned earlier, so much to talk about here, but you did an extraordinary thing. You cast, and when I say cast, it make it sound like De Niro was hoping he got the part.
He auditioned.
Try it again, Bob. Bob, try it again. Bob, it's between you and two other guys, but I think you did a pretty good job. You get Robert De Niro to play your dad. Now, how surreal is this? It's got to be surreal for you, but what about your father? What does your father think about Robert De Niro playing him?
Yeah. So we wrote the movie. My writing partner, Austin Earl, and I wrote the movie. We kind of have the same pattern of life in the sense that we both married into money.
Mm-hmm.
And we've always kind of wrote about this life of two guys who kind of married a better cut of cloth in our wives.
Mm-hmm.
So the movie kind of centers around my father and I going to a country club environment, which I do every summer. My wife, family has a home in North Carolina that we go to. Country club, very white. You know,
Yep.
When I show up, I look like I cut the lawn. I'm dark. You know what I'm saying? So
sometimes you do cut the lawn, just because you're like, I think I could do that better than that guy.
So it's just kind of these two worlds kind of colliding. The movie centers around that. But De Niro, listen, we never set out to get him. We didn't write the movie with him in mind. You just don't even think that's a possibility, right? And then once I worked with him on The Irishman, and then he subsequently came to see me do comedy at Radio City Music Hall. He came backstage. We talked a little bit. And I'm sure you've met the man. He's not like highly engaging as far as conversation. He's kind of quiet to himself. So it's not like, we had wine together. I don't have wine with nobody. So it's not like we had like a social relationship, but we sent him the script and he really gravitated towards it, and he wanted to read it out loud with a bunch of actors. So we sat down, we did a table read. And then after that, he made the decision that he wanted to do it. Now, De Niro, being the actor that he is, wanted to hang out with my dad.
Wow.
Right? Now,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because he's method. He wants to, this is about your dad. He wants to spend time with your dad and absorb this man's characteristics.
Yeah. So they get on the phone, and he wants him to come to Oklahoma, where De Niro is shooting the movie with Scorsese and DiCaprio. And my dad, who's a hairstylist, is going to go. First, he's bitching that he's got to take off work.
Oh my God. For this bullshit.
Yeah. You believe this? I got a dye job and a blowout on Friday.
He has priorities.
So he goes to Oklahoma, and he goes to De Niro's home there that he's rented for the movie. And De Niro's asking him, when you wear your hat, how you wear your hat? And then my father's like, I wear it like this. And when you smoke a cigar, how do you smoke it? Then he wanted to know some Italian, Sicilian slang that De Niro wanted to put in there. And, and I'm dying to hear how this is going. I mean, you have to understand, this is a guy that had posters on my wall growing up, De Niro.
Of course, yeah.
Casino, Goodfellas. My dad and I watched this guy, and now he's playing my father. So for me, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. So afterwards, I said, you got to call me as soon as you get out of there. All right? So he calls me. I go, how was it? How was it? Guy kept me there 4 hours. My dad's bitching about the hours.
Wow.
Then he's asking me, am I getting paid for this? Am I getting like a little something for this? I go, Dad, I don't.
That's so perfect.
Listen, he was beside himself.
Yeah.
But, there's also that, way we grew up of,
Sure.
I'm going to lose clients and I'm here and this and that and the other thing. Then he's on set. because De Niro wanted him on set because there's a scene in the movie where we're in a hair salon and De Niro, being the actor that he is, wanted to know how to do a dye job with the foil.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad is teaching De Niro the foil and this and that. I'm looking at this going, the salon looked like the salon I grew up in with my father. And now he's teaching De Niro how to do hair. And I'm like, I was just so proud that my dad was alive to see this all going down, right? So De Niro didn't want him to leave the set. You know, like, where are you going? He's like, I gotta go back to work. We don't go back to work. Hey, tomorrow we got another scene. And Dad's like, well, I got a perm. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah. So now that they want to use my father in a lot of this promotion that we're doing for the movie. Mm-hmm. So we're doing, my father and I are going on Kimmel together. Right. And, this is like, my father's really excited about him being involved in the press, which I was nervous about because my father's the type of guy where when we're hanging around a group of people, he's the life of the party. As soon as the camera pops on him, he kind of goes into a shell. However, we did a press event in Las Vegas and they were asking him questions. And I was like, well, this guy's like, my dad speaks broken English because, he's from Sicily and he's answering questions. I'm like, this guy... Do we need a camera on him to speak proper English? I mean,
oh, suddenly
he's like pronouncing words right.
Right.
So
he's another enunciator. We got another enunciator. That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So, yeah, we shot the movie in Alabama, which was difficult for me just because I got 2 small kids. I was going to be there for 8 weeks. And, I was wrestling with like, oh God, like, again, me overthinking things. This is a great opportunity, yes, but then I'm also thinking I should be home. I'm a father. What the hell am I doing in Alabama? Got to be with my kids. But
I don't know what you're talking about. That's all bullshit.
No,
those kids do better when I'm not around. They thrive when I'm out. Yeah, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a family guy. So anyway, it was an unbelievable experience. It was a acting lesson for me for 7-8 weeks, however long we shot this movie. There was a time where I had to cry. Now, listen, I'm a sensitive guy. I could cry, in just conversation. But to do it like in a movie, I never did this before. And now I'm doing it with arguably one of the best actors of our time. He comes, right? And when he's supposed to cry in the scene, he's crying, right? And I ain't crying. I go, where is it? It ain't coming. And I'm looking at him like almost like a fan. I go, this guy's crying on you?
Can't you just grab one of his tears? That's what I would do. The minute no one's looking, get a De Niro tear.
Yeah, I was hoping I could get some spill off. But, and then they said, cut, and then did it again, still didn't cry. And then I told him, I go, bro, I got to talk to you, man. I need help here. So me and him privately go, there was an airplane scene. We go into the airplane together. And I go, I can't get there. And he goes, well, I didn't know, I was going to tell you, I'm going to give you some advice, but I didn't know your process. I go, hey, there ain't no process, guy. I'm just hoping this clicks in soon. There's no method or nothing like that. I'm just doing the lines, hoping I could get sad.
Yeah. That is the method, actually.
So
he gave you advice?
Yeah, no. He's like, what I do is I think of my son, and he, in telling me the story, he starts crying.
Oh my God!
Now I'm crying because he's crying about talking about his son. I go, I got to use this, and I get out of the plane, and I'm supposed to be out of breath during the scene. Now I got sciatica ripping through my right leg, right, and I don't really run because of the pain. Now I'm running, crying with sciatica on a tarmac, trying to get out of breath, right? So I come into the scene, and I'm crying already, but I'm not supposed to be. But I'm like, fuck it. This,
Use this.
Edit it.
Yeah.
I'm bawling throughout this. Cut. All right, we're gonna do it again, guy. That's all I got. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna do this 9 times.
You need to rehydrate.